Let's take a few minutes and talk about the course outcomes and objectives for SAB 130, addictive behaviors. All students can gain a sufficient amount of knowledge regarding is the understanding of the disease concept of addiction. One of the ways we will show that students have a knowledge of the disease concept is through various projects and a short paper and discussions that we have as a group in class. The concept of addiction is certainly complex, very detailed, and controversial based on your perspectives. One of the most important things we can do, though, as we try to understand the concept of addiction, is to be willing to understand the perceptions of others and the perceptions of ourselves, and acknowledge the differences and similarities about the topic we are about to discuss. Another strong component of this, especially for those who are currently in recovery or who have had family members involved in addiction, is to understand that one experience does not necessarily make all experiences. And addiction is a unique experience for each of us through our own lives and perceptions of life. Control over drug use. That means that the impacted individual does not have the long-term or even short-term ability frequently to control their intake of a particular substance. We may tell ourselves that yes, we can control intake, that we can control how much we use a particular drug, but in reality we cannot. Compulsive use is another example. You may think into your own lives and experiences, or those that you're friends with or love, that you have perhaps noted some compulsive behaviors in your own or their lives. So this compulsive use is what you may expect. Waking up at 6 a.m. to have the first mixed drink, or using in a terms or in a sense of a ritual, meaning that you have certain places and times and things that you associate with using a particular drug. Basically, when something becomes compulsive, it becomes uncontrollable. Another good indicator of addiction is using despite harm. This could be physical harm to self, emotional harm to self or others, of course physical harm to others, or the fact that you know without a shadow of a doubt that using a particular substance or drug is hurting yourself, those you love, or your life circumstance, and your quality of life is decreasing, but that person still uses. It's like the old adage of the heart patient who was told by the doctor, stop drinking and smoking, or patient, you will die from your use, but the person continues to use, even though possible death could be in the makings. Another indicator of addiction can be characterized by cravings, having a deep urge to intake a particular substance is a good example of a craving. Many of us have had cravings for caffeine or tobacco or chocolate. That deep seated, almost sixth sense that your body is telling you that you need a particular thing, even when you're not thinking about it. To understand addiction, we need a good framework related to theory, research, and practice. In addition, as I mentioned before, we need to be open to different ideas about a complex social problem. And in the sake of this course, we may present some information that challenges some of your thoughts, perceptions, feelings, and ideas. This does not mean you have to accept those. It does mean that we need to consider perspectives other than our own. We also need to understand the differences between drug abuse, dependence, and other diagnostic criteria that exist within the counseling profession related to dependence. There are distinct differences in the diagnostic criteria for drug abuse and dependence and associated diagnoses. Plus, we also must remember that addiction exists in society and therefore becomes a sociological problem. Addiction is one of those issues. It's a personal issue that also becomes a societal problem. So we must take not only a individual view of diagnostic criteria for clients, but we must also take a look at addiction through a really big picture perspective and look at how addiction impacts society as a whole. Concepts related to this short slideshow can be found in your course syllabus and in the speaker's notes that may be located in the same section of our lecture as this video clip. Thank you.